What's up guys, thanks for tuning in for Jay's Travels. Today I'm taking you on another adventure. If you watched my previous video, we were in Nantucket, and today we are heading over to San Francisco. From Nantucket we had to fly out to Boston to catch another flight, and this flight was very interesting. It was quite compact flight and it was flying fairly low, and I don't think we blinked too many times during this journey. It was quite a bumpy ride, but we were in Boston in less than 2 hours. Boston to San Francisco is about 6 hours and 45 minutes. San Francisco is a cultural and a financial capital of the state of California. San Francisco Airport is the second busiest airport after LAX in LA. This airport consists of 4 terminals. As you see, they display quite a bit of history of all San Francisco around this airport. We are on the road to our hotel, and here you see the Bay Area of San Francisco is one of the most famous areas. Our hotel was located around the Fisherman Wharf. It's another famous area of San Francisco, and from the airport it's like about 20 minutes ride. Around 3 o'clock we managed to check in at Rio Fisherman Wharf. From Rio to Fisherman Wharf is fairly walking distance, like about 5 minutes, and we managed to go for an early dinner to Bistro Boudin, which is like about 10 minutes walk from the hotel. This restaurant located in the heart of Fisherman Wharf. As you see the Alcatraz right across where we are sitting, and this restaurant is well known for its seafood and freshly baked bread. We started with a couple of oyster shooters, and not to forget my old-fashioned and Kip's margarita. The oysters was so fresh and we had to order another plate. It was absolutely fantastic dinner and was good to experience all the culinary extravaganza Bistro Boudin has to offer. As I mentioned earlier, they are very famous for their sourdough bread, and when we are walking down from the restaurant, we saw this massive production area from Bistro Boudin. Breakfast buffet at Rio Fisherman Wharf is extremely busy. I think we experienced like about 500 people, but it was well planned and well laid out. We had few appointments on this day, and while we are getting that done, I managed to sneak into Chinatown, which is one of the biggest Chinatown in the world. Also to mention, this is one of the top tourist attractions. Chinatown consists tons of stores, temples, cultural areas, and displays some old heritage from ancient China. While driving through Chinatown, I spotted one of my favorite fruits, durian, in one of the stores, and this looks super fresh. Ironically, Chinatown is linked to Little Italy. Like right after you pass Chinatown, the entire architecture, the roads, and everything changes within a matter of no time. On the same afternoon, we left San Francisco and heading into Napa Valley, which is our main destination of this trip. From San Francisco to Napa is about an hour and a half. This totally depending on traffic, and if you're stuck on the Golden Gate Bridge on traffic, this will take about 2 to 3 hours. As we reaching into wine country, the entire landscaping start to change. Napa Valley is one of the largest winemaking region in the world. It made his mark on the map in 1976 after Chateau Montelena won the Judgment of Paris. We chose to stay at the Napa Valley Marriott, the hotel and spa during this visit. The hotel is going under sort of a renovation, but still they had all the amenities available. We have booked a junior suite with a sitting area. It was very well laid out, nice and clean, and a lot of daylight. The hotel itself has a restaurant open for breakfast, lunch and dinner, 3 meals a day. We decided to venture around to do some wine tasting, and our first stop is Opus One. This winery was in my list for a longer period of time, and I'm glad that Kip and me can finally experience this beautiful wine and a wonderful scenery. Opus One used to call a Napa Medoc, and in 1982 this was named as Opus One. This winery has a great history, and this is the brainchild of Chateau Mouton Rothschild, the Baron de Rothschild and the Robert Mondavi, and these 3 gentlemen want to make a single Bordeaux, and that's the birth of Opus One. For a very long period of time, Opus One 2014 vintage was one of the most expensive wine in the world, and I believe it's still retailing at around $350 a bottle. It was a beautiful landscaping around this winery, and we were so blessed to experience this wine tour. As you see, the wines are still not grown as of yet because it's still at the beginning of the season, and these wines will be nice and leafy around in May. They also do have a rooftop area for you to relax until your tasting begins. The tasting room is quite compact but yet intimate, and they still have a little bit of social distancing between tables. We had 3 wines to taste. One is the O2, and then the 2016 and 2018 vintage. All 3 are very similar characteristics, and they are all Napa blend, which called the older border blend. Our wine taster managed to give us a private tour of the barrel room, and this was the highlight of the show. The barrel room is very well laid out and has about 2,000 barrels, and they are all from 2021 vintage. Obviously, the Opus One wines got us in the mood. Okay, here's a fun fact. These are sheep they use to de-weed the wineries around this time of the year. Apparently, the sheep eat weed from top to bottom rather than having goats usually eat from bottom to top, which they may damage the wines when they start to grow. Gibbs picked this wonderful restaurant called RH Yodmel, and this restaurant ticks all the boxes. As you may know, Yodmel has most renowned restaurants in Napa Valley, and RH Yodmel is one of them. It has a very simple menu, yet the presentation and the taste is fantastic. It has a resemblance of old Venetian architecture, and the chandeliers lights up, and that gives a wonderful intimate dining experience. Also to mention my lobster sandwich, kibble salmon, our sorted wild mushrooms, and that glass of Camus was hit the spot. Also their homemade cookies and ice cream was the icing of the cake. We had a quite early dinner, but the restaurant lights up when the chandeliers comes out when it starts to get dark. Also we discovered RH Mill has a wine tasting room right next to the restaurant. You can do a pre-drink or after dinner drink, and this is very nicely set up with a wonderful atmosphere. Tesla's in all over California for some reason, and we happen to get into one of those when we are heading to our next wine tasting, which is at Cake Bread Cellars. Cake Bread Cellars located in Rutherford, California, where from Marriott is like about 15 to 20 minutes ride. This was one of Kip's ideas, and apparently she loved this wine, and we really want to try this out. It was one of those picturesque wineries that I have ever been, and fairly nicely laid out, and they do give you a history of the winery at the beginning. Cape Bread Cellars are well known for their Sauvignon Blanc and a Chardonnay. Also their Merlots and Cabernet Sauvignons are top notch. They do a new technology for aging, which they use cement wine barrels and then they add some oak to get the finish of the wine. This new aging method gives a unique characteristics to their Chardonnay.
It's a very technical wine word.
Our wine guide was extremely generous and managed to give us a 360-degree tour, including the production room and the bottling unit.
Pinot Noir is a relatively elegant, delicate wine. This is elegant, but it is not delicate. This is a very... So what he's doing is called topping off, because the barrels allow evaporation, so then you get a little air pocket in there, and we don't want that, so we top it off.
He was very generous to us and gave us a bottle of 2010 vintage, which is not even for sale. We had our wedding cake tasting between these tours, and the Flower and Bloom, you had an amazing job. And then we have reached to our next destination, Hotel Villagio. This hotel located in the heart of Yacht Mill and one of those favorite places of our lives. It's a modern yet rustic lobby is one of my favorite places. Although we were at the Villagio, our wedding menu tasting was at the Vintage House, which is a sister property of the same hotel, and it's like about 5 minutes ride from a golf cart. And there's a sneak peek of our wedding tasting. And in a less than a month, this place will be packed with our loved ones. Oh, we can? Just because we had some time in our hands, we decided to check out another winery, and now we are heading to Castello di Amoroso. This is the most picturesque wineries in the entire area.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Brings back beautiful memories during our engagement in Napa Valley. They make their own Chiantis and Sangiovese, which is very different than many other wineries in Napa Valley. I also managed to check out the fitness center at the Napa Valley Marriott. Fairly equipped, usual hotel gym, and I'm looking forward to experience this in coming May. We drove back to San Francisco on the night before and spent the night close to the airport as we have an early flight to catch. Since the flight schedule is quite chaotic, we had to fly to New York to get to Bermuda. This old fashioned at the flight was not quite shabby. Actually, I really liked it. It was quite late by the time we get to New York. I believe it was around 8:30. And the highlight of our stay was this Hyatt Regency in New York City. This hotel was built new and has a inbuilt casino. Quite beautifully laid out, and beautiful lightings in the lobby make this hotel a wonderful place to stay. We only have one night, however we are looking forward to come back and experience more of this hotel. And it's time to go home. Thank you for watching, guys. Thank you for being part of this journey. Hope to come to your house soon with another adventure. Until then, stay safe. Talk to you soon. Please subscribe, like, comment and share, and turn on your notification button so when you know my next video coming up.